Welcome to the Strenuous Life Radio, the podcast where entrepreneurs, men and women learn the essentials of the soft skills of the strenuous life. And now, your guest host, Jimmy. Technology does not want to cooperate. What can I say? And we're going to be hitting the hard stuff again, but there is nothing more awesome about the strenuous life than sports. And so, part 1 and 2, and this is going to be on the Strenuous Life TV, it's a tag team between myself and JR. I'm doing part 1, okay? Because both of us love Texas Tech. A lot of fond memories there, and nothing like the spirit of it. Now, unfortunately, I never went to a game at Jones Stadium. But a lot of wonderful traditions from game day. If you'll listen. I remember every time that there was going to be a home game. Every week, even in the classrooms. The excitement. Kids were picking up, back in my day, it was called the University Daily. When I went back to graduate school, it was the Daily Torador. Don't ask me why they changed it, it just happened. And during football season, if there was a news story involved, I was a journalism major at the time, I remember my early days, but they would mention stories about the Texas Tech Spirit and the Masked Rider. And never fails. That was going on every week, especially if there was a home game. And I remember walking from the library back to my dorm on Saturdays. And if we won a home game, that Texas Tech bell went off like you wouldn't believe. You could tell if we had a major victory, and that was awesome. You might say, what was the main reason why you went to Texas Tech? Well, I kind of wanted to follow one of my eldest maternal uncle in his footsteps. And I felt like Texas Tech could provide that vehicle for me. I learned a lot at Texas Tech. I learned a lot about politics and culture, economics, the performing arts, particularly theater arts. Had a talent scout come and find me and said that I could be destined for Hollywood. Of course, I'm better off podcasting and speaking on stage, as many of you know. But Texas Tech has had, I'll tell you something. That school spirit is like none other. Now, I know, anybody who has gone to a major university that has had an athletic teams, they are going to support their alma mater. That's only natural. That's only natural. You may say, well, I thought the Strenuous Life Radio was dedicated to business. It is, but I feel like sometimes we need to take a detour through history and sports and talk about these things. Sadly, I wasn't at the stadium in game day. Most times I was, in the early days, I was in my dorm room or in the library. Later on in my apartment. And you better believe when it was game day, when it was a home game deal, all over the radio was, and I just play a little snippet of the Texas Tech fight song. Game day, I tell you what, the anticipation, the realization of possible hopes that your team could win. Now, I'm not a total sports enthusiast, okay? That's why I devoted most of this to, matters of entrepreneurship. But, when JR and I invented the series of the Strenuous Way, we thought, well, why don't we have a detour, history, sports. And we're even going to have an episode dealing with matters of faith. But the Texas Tech spirit, I'll tell you something. There is nothing like it. Now, there's in West Texas, there's competitions over whose sports teams are the best, like you wouldn't believe. Even for people say they've gone to high school in West Texas, but maybe they've gone to the colleges, the universities in Texas, or I even have some friends that have gone to BYU and Utah, or the universities. And it's only natural to want to cheer for your alma mater. And you say, well, Jimmy, why are you talking about the Texas Tech spirit? The spirit was more than just about game day, although it was important. To me, it was the layout of the university, the land, the aesthetics, the architecture. Now, some people think, Jimmy, you're way off base. But aesthetics and architecture is a part of my spirituality. And I had friends in my past, like Brad and Jim Bob, take a look at me and it's like, Jimmy, you're weird. This is weird. But the friends I have now that's kind of like, within reason, you can practice your spirituality in however way you want. And see, Texas Tech, for me, it was temporal knowledge, no doubt. It's a state university. But also, it was some of the spiritual knowledge through the trials that I went through there. And the lessons learned. But see, the Texas Tech spirit, I love it. You had a praying campus go to see you at the pole events, I remember, when I first came there. Memorial Circle was lined up on the National Day of Prayer, people worshiping the Lord and praying together. Those things happen. What I'm trying to say, the essence of sports is often it's about ties that bind us together. I used to be a major sports enthusiast as a child and teenager, sitting under the feet of my maternal granddad. But when Granddad died, I lost a lot of that enthusiasm. And then I gained it back briefly with my buddy Keith, and then, I lost it again. But the Texas Tech spirit will forever go on with me. Now, I hope you enjoy listening to Strenuous Life Radio. If you like what you hear, please subscribe, become a part of the Strenuous Life Radio family. This is Jimi Hendrix saying until next time, don't just sit there and take it. Build your dreams so you can take it. Do what others don't so you can be what others won't. And do what others won't so you can have what others can't. Think strong, live strong, and live the strenuous life. God bless you guys.